Alright guys, well, we was going to do a little bit of work, but kind of looks a little dark in there. Let's fix that. There we go. Maybe a little homemade hanging light there. That just plugged up over on the side there. So, today we are going to get to work back on the truck project. We'll do some work on the LS swap. Got my light ready. New shop. Not as big as the one I had, but hey, it's a shop and it will work for me. It's got two doors. It's got a 15-foot door here, 8-foot door back there. Put an air conditioner in yesterday. I'm going to paint my walls all white, brighten it up in here. Several lights, paint the ceiling white. Got my workbench back there. Got my son back there playing his game, tankies or something like that. Got my drill press, got it up on a pedestal there. Got my tool wall, got a little work cabinet there. Breaker box, some nice old vehicles up there. I've even got TV in here. Yes, that's the Cardinals playing the Braves. Andy Smith. I'm sorry, bud, but every now and then the Cardinals feel sorry for your Braves and will let you win. In this case, we're letting you win today. As you can see today, yeah, 6-1. But got my refrigerator. Got to stop with Mountain Dew. Got my daughter's magnets on it. But anyhow, we do have a radio over here. Got my pipe bender, paint cabinet, radio, parts washer, another toolbox back there. Not much, but plenty enough for me. What we're going to do today is we're going to try to get the transmission mount, the Crossmember, done up on this. I want to try to get my transmission lines ran, if I can. Put the drive shaft in it, and I at least want to fire this thing up today to let it run for about 30 seconds or so. Show you a neat little thing here. People that we bought this place from left this in the shop. It's a drop light, and it's on a reel. It's kind of old one, and as you can see what it says on the side of it, Cordelac or something like that. Anyhow, works perfect. So this is what we've got planned. I'll shimmy under here and I'll show you. As you can see, the stock Crossmember is not going to line up with that transmission mount. I have a brand new transmission mount, so what we're going to do is unbolt this, and as you can see, it does have holes in this side, so I can scoot this forward. That side, however, does not. I'll show you what this side does have. Let me go around. Oh, here we go. This side has the mount. Hang on, we'll come right back. Alright, now that's better. This side has the wraparound mount for the Crossmember, wraps around the frame. So, what we're going to have to do is take this Crossmember mount out. I'm going to cut it along through here to cut this wraparound off. Then we will line it up over there with the two bolt holes, come forward with the transmission, and we're going to have to drill two holes in the frame for these bolt holes to go through over on the driver's side. Let me get this thing jacked up and get this Crossmember out, and then we'll come back. Also, real quick, I'm going to try to explain something to you all. I had a gentleman ask me, this is your stock plug that comes on the fuel sending unit for an 87 model gas tank As you can see, it did have some solder down here. What I done was I unsoldered the connection for the stock one, and I used a Walboro 255 fuel pump. The stock plug off of the sending unit for the fuel pump will not fit in that. So I took the solder joints, unsoldered those, soldered the plug that fits the Walboro 255 pump onto the sending unit, and it works perfect. That's how you would do that, so just in case if you do not know that. Alright folks, sorry about that, got a little carried away and forgot to record it. Anyhow, it was simple. Took the crossmember down. The other side, I'll come over there in just a second. I cut the part that wrapped up and around the frame. I cut it off. I scooted it forward, used one bolt hole, and this bolt hole was almost lined up. I didn't want to finish drilling through the transmission mount, or the cross member, I'm sorry, because it would have messed my drill bit up. So I just went and started a new hole, went through both, got that bolted down. The other side, I had to drill 2 brand new holes. It's real simple. As you can see, I've got to take this down and clean it up. The stud for the transmission mount is sticking through there. I'll show you what I had to cut off here. That is the piece that wraps up and around the frame. Yes, it does have 2 holes here, 2 holes here, but if it gets to where I think I need this piece back, what I'll do is I'll put it back up against the frame, bolt it back up there, and however far this piece of metal comes up, because I know the mount is scooted forward now, so however far it comes up, I'll weld as much as I can back to it. But I don't think I'm going to need it. 4 bolts is plenty enough to hold that transmission. So that is how I made my transmission mount work for my 84. Alright guys, now then that we have got the fan shroud and fans mounted, that's out of the way. I could do the wiring, but I'm going to save it for another video. What we're going to do today is transmission lines. Now, your typical $700 transmission, in my case, came with a $700. I swapped out the motor and transmission for a LS53 with a 4L60E transmission. So, my stock lines will not bolt up to the 4L60 transmission. I put a 454 radiator in here. I ordered it new. The lines will screw into my transmission, my transmission lines will screw into the radiator here. But like I said, it will not fit into your 4L60 transmission. But I have a way around that. You do not have to have any custom lines made. I'm going to use the stock $700 lines, but I'm going to do one thing, and I'm going to show you. This is the adapter, or I'm sorry, well, whatever you want to call it. This is in the side of a 4L60 transmission. As you can see, that is where your line will go in. You'll put a snap pin around it, and it'll hold the transmission line in to the transmission, into this piece. Okay, I'm swapping them out for the ones that come out of a 700R. Same fittings, but it allows you to bolt the 700R transmission lines back to the side of the 4L60 transmission. I've already got one replaced. I'll climb underneath here and show you what I'm talking about. Give me just a second. Alright guys, Let me get you up in here. I'm sorry for the shakiness, but kind of hard for a tripod to fit underneath it here. As you can see, I've got the top one replaced, and now I've already got the, let me see if I can get to where I can hold this camera with one hand and get a little bit of footage for you. And now what I'm going to do is, I've already got the bottom one loosened. As you can see, that's the stock one. And we're just simply going to swap it out for the 700R. So, we'll start this thing in here. Ah, come on. Alrighty. Alright, we've got it started. I'll grab a ratchet and socket. We'll put it on there. This fitting is a 11/16. Nice how you got plenty of room just to get a nice deep well socket up in there too. Sorry for the shakiness, like I said. But, yeah. This will save you from having to have your lines made, or if you'd rather, I mean, there's different ways of doing this. This is just my way of doing it. I wanted to be able to screw the lines into the radiator. So, I'm using the stock ones, and I don't have to cut them, add any hoses or anything like that. Because as you can see, I now have two of them. The top barb, which is this one, that is going to be your, it'll send the fluid to the radiator. This is your return. This comes back into the transmission. Just remember that. It does not matter how you hook them up on the radiator. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. We'll get out from underneath this truck. As far as you hooking the sending here or sending down there, it doesn't really matter. And I say this because I talked to a transmission shop today that deals with this, and I asked him this too, and he said it doesn't matter. But I'm going to go ahead and hook mine up to the top because I'd rather have top line on the top, bottom on the bottom. Same with the transmission. Push in, coming out. So let me get the lines ran. These are the lines that I am going to be running right here, stock lines. Let me get these cleaned up a little bit, ran, and that will be one less thing that we have to mess with as far as the swap goes. I'll then be able to put transmission fluid in this thing, and I believe I could probably fire it up for more than 10 seconds. So hopefully we'll be back. Alright peeps, sorry about the ground cable in the way, but as you can see, got the top one in there, got the bottom one down in there. The reason why the cable is in the way, I do already have the ones back there, if you can see down there at the transmission. I have those hooked up too. But the reason why I have the ground cable in the way, I also have the battery on, is because I just done a test startup on this. I would do it again, but I've already taken the breather system off. I did it just so I could see if I could run it for 20-30 seconds. Ran perfect. I also wanted to let the transmission fluid circulate so I could finish topping that off because it was a fresh build transmission. I also checked and just put it in neutral, drive, stuff like that. Just make sure it took gear. Everything did. And if you want to see that video, then you can go find me on Facebook The link is in the description down here to my Facebook, and you'll see it. It was streamed live, so I also explained a little bit more about what I've done, but you can also check that out. But yeah, that's how I ran my transmission lines. If I don't tack this video onto the end of the fan shroud part 2 video, then I'll make this one a separate one. I'm not sure yet, but either way, thank you all for watching. God bless each and every one of you, and I hope and pray that whatever project you're doing, that you get just as much satisfaction out of doing it as I do.